Is your goal to fight this year? We've moved into a new year. Maybe you've had some resolutions that you've been contemplating for a while, and one of them is to get in the ring or the cage and try some competition. If so, you are here for the right episode, because I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you get a victory in your upcoming fight. So while getting in the ring or cage in many aspects is very impressive, takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of nerves, you really have to put yourself out there. But even with that, and the respect that you get from people, you still want to win. I know you do. Because when I get in the ring, I want to win so bad. It's one of the main things that drives me to get up and train as hard as I do in fight camp, day after day after day. So we're going to break down some things that you need to start changing, contemplating, to make sure when you step in whatever fight sport you may be competing in, you get that victory. The very first thing which I want you to start doing right now is identify your strengths and identify your weaknesses. This is going to help you so much. Why? Identifying your strengths is going to allow you to really put focus on what you probably have the most success with. Many people already know this. But if you really dial in on it even more so, you might come up with some good fakes or some alternative ways to land these techniques. Identifying your weaknesses is something people don't do as much because they like to avoid the things which are not going well. If you're somebody who has a lot of trouble at, say, landing uppercuts, most people will go, oh, I'm just not going to train them as much. They're not good for me, so I'm not going to bother. Or if you feel like you get outboxed a lot, people go, oh, okay, you know what, I'm going to work on my front kick or something, get better at that, but they don't really go, okay, maybe I should get better at my hand defense and actually work that. Once you identify these 2 things, and you actually put some time and effort in to improving both of them, I feel like your skill level is just automatically going to jump up, and your chance of success when you compete is so much greater. And if for some reason you have not been able to identify your strengths, it's a little harder sometimes to recognize what those are. If you don't feel like your skill level is super high, you're going, what are my strengths? Talk to your coach, talk to sparring partners, people who hold pads for you, and they'll be able to tell you certain things like, oh, your power is really good when you throw your cross. It's not as powerful on the other shots, but that cross is really good. Or your ability to slip shots is actually pretty impressive. They'll be able to give you some little elements of your fight style which are pretty high up there compared to other things, and that's where you put your focus. And of course, they can help you with the same thing on weaknesses, because if they spar with you, a lot of times they can find, oh, this is not working, oh, that's not working. So if you're struggling there, just talk to people as well. The second thing which I really advise you to do is start getting very good at countering. When we watch a lot of fights, whether it be UFC, high-level boxing, high-level kickboxing, we're going to note that a lot of times the big damaging shots are not coming off somebody just stepping forward and just having all sorts of success over and over and over and landing a knockdown. A lot of times they have massive success after the other person attacked, because when they attack, they expose themselves in some way. You can't attack and not expose yourself. So if you can get really good at, okay, I'm going to block and I'm going to counter, or I'm going to check a low kick and slam one back. If you start really prioritizing your counter abilities, you have much higher likelihood of ending the fight by KO. And I know that's something that many people want to do. They want to prioritize that KO win, but I think it is smarter and safer to do it with counters as opposed to, okay, when the bell rings, I'm going to run out and I'm going to land that big shot. A little bit of a risk when you do that. If you have that eyesight and you can go, okay, block, counter shot, get that knockdown, it's going to be that much safer and that much smarter. If you're trying to get better at counters, it's very simple. Get somebody in front of you and just repeat, repeat, repeat. Muscle memory. They swing a left hook at you and you block and you slam it back. They go again, block, boom, boom, boom. So it just becomes something that every time somebody touches you here, you just snap that back, snap it back. Again, you'll figure out which ones are your favorite. You might like blocking shots and slamming in a low kick, or fading back and throwing a high kick. It's going to all depend on you and what feels best. But again, muscle memory, work it and work it and work it, and it'll just start coming out and you won't have to overanalyze or overthink. And that's what we want. That's when it's really gonna work for you. The last element that I want you to focus on, if you're thinking of competing this year and really want the win, which you should, because if you don't get the win, that means you're getting beat up. And I want everybody to be safe. Go in, you get the win, less chance of injury. Part of my job here is to help you guys accomplish that. What I want you to focus on is your training time outside the gym. If you think that, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna train 3 or 4 2-hour sessions every week, which is a decent amount. You're putting in 6 to 8 hours. That's enough hard training for somebody who's at the amateur level, first fight, 10th fight. I still think that's enough. But what I want you to focus on is not the training in the gym. Do that, of course, but what are you doing outside the gym? What are the extra things you're doing to make sure that you're going to be fight ready and get that win? You should be focusing, number 1, on at home. Make sure you get your neck conditioning. Strengthen that neck with the routines that I've already shared on this channel. You should be trying to get to the track or soccer field and make sure at least twice a week you're doing your sprint routine. How long does that take? It's not long. We're talking like go there, you can get it done in 25 minutes. So if you want to fight and you want to win, get that cardio down. That cross training is very important. This is all done outside those regular training sessions. In addition, you can do things like, oh, at home I'm going to do my ab conditioning or my mental training, like the visualization, imagining yourself getting that win, imagining yourself in the fight where, oh, it's maybe a little bit difficult and you have to rally. You have to be the person who really wants it more. All these things which you do outside the gym, I believe, are just as important as the hard training. So you want to have both of those split up. The only difference is these ones over here at the gym, they take a long time. If we're talking 2-hour sessions multiple times per week, that's a chunk of your time. These other ones, they're fast. Visualization, 5 minutes, twice a week. Go for a run. It's less than an hour, or a couple runs. That's less than an hour together. Do some neck and some abs. We're talking like 3 to 5 minutes per day. Small little chunks, but as I was building up, getting closer and closer, collecting these big belts, when I was doing all the small belts, the ones which were not as prestigious, I was doing a lot of training at home, and I really think that helped me. Just walking down the hallway and being like, you know what, I'm just gonna work on a jab, slip, cross, and then just doing that a few times. Small things at home add up to a lot. So don't just train at the gym, also do your training at home as well. Put the two together, put everything else together, which I mentioned today, and go get yourself a victory, multiple victories in 2024. Guys, thank you for joining me today. I'll see you back here soon for another video.